Welcome to the LinkedIn Famous Podcast, the show where we get real about what it takes to build a personal brand on LinkedIn that gets real business results. We're talking about driving revenue from a personal LinkedIn profile by sharing real and authentic stories and points of view. I'm Brad Zomick, your host and the founder of Spectimer, a personal brand consultancy that helps founders and executives get LinkedIn famous. Join me for unfiltered conversations from the trenches of LinkedIn. We'll meet CEOs, go-to-market executives, subject matter experts, and company employees with blockbuster LinkedIn results. We'll unpack strategy and leave you with tactical advice to grow your personal brand and demand for your company's products and services. All right, LinkedIn hustlers, it's time to level up. Hello out there, LinkedIn makers and movers, and those aspiring to be LinkedIn famous. I'm your host, Brad Zomick, and the CEO of Spectimer, an executive branding consultancy. We help founders, CEOs, marketing evangelists, and go-to-market executives get LinkedIn famous. That means advising on content strategy, editing content, ghostwriting, and execution of creative for LinkedIn. I'm a former in-house software as a service marketing leader turned entrepreneur. I operated from the seed round to D round, from zero in revenue to 60 million in ARR. I specialize in content marketing, product marketing, demand generation. I did fractional consulting before starting my own business. LinkedIn Famous is not about the fame. It's about the impact and the execution of getting LinkedIn famous. It's an interview podcast with business leaders and creators who are driving business results with their LinkedIn profile. We'll get into the weeds and understand the motivations and challenges of creating a successful presence that drives pipeline. We'll cover the gamut of content to networking and even get into tooling. We'll break down strategy and tactics to give listeners practical takeaways they can deploy right away. This podcast is for the aspiring LinkedIn famous who want to build a personal brand and pipeline for B2B products and services. The C-suite, evangelists, go-to-market executives, anyone with a remit to build pipeline. B2B marketing and sales is changing and has been for a while. You don't need to live under a rock to realize that B2B sales and marketing has changed a lot coming out of the pandemic. The tried and true channels don't work as well as they used to. I came up in content at the rise of inbound. My job was to optimize blog content for keywords, rank on the top of Google, capture emails with ebooks, and blitz people with marketing email till they bought something, or more likely, they canceled their subscription. Traditional inbound content marketing is a crowded channel now, and the playbook is overused. It doesn't work because of supply and demand. B2B keyword volumes, especially the transactional ones, are very small, and there's a ton of players competing for the same cap supply. SEO is now a big company strategy, and social is replacing search, especially for early-stage companies. When I noticed the playbook starting to show signs of wear and tear in 2017, I begged my sales team and CEOs to post on LinkedIn. I did my own experiments. I would post something that looked like a tweet, and then I would post a 200-word riveting story. The tweet got 20 views, the story got 5 to 10,000 views, and I was a relative unknown. For my CEO and teammates, it was out of their comfort zone. Things started to change during the pandemic. CEOs love to talk to a room of people at an event, even if it was only 50 people. When COVID hit, there were no events to go to, so CEOs took to LinkedIn sharing their stories, effectively one slide at a time. People like Chris Walker posted 2 times a day and became LinkedIn famous. They also built huge businesses. They made LinkedIn cool. Today, CEOs see companies doing this, and they want in. And it's not just early-stage CEOs. Fortune 500 companies are doing it. Sundar Pichai from Google, Daniel Ek from Spotify, Howard Schultz from Starbucks. And in the fall of 2024, even Mark Benioff made his first LinkedIn post, 25 years after the founding of Salesforce and 22 years after LinkedIn was started. The founder-led motion is hot. It's a new but old playbook. Think about Steve Jobs. He had the WWDC, the annual Apple developer event every year where he made big announcements. Mark Benioff pulled off stunts to show up in the Wall Street Journal. Apple and Salesforce, they had massive communications team to drive publicity. Today, the messages are the same coming from the CEOs. They've just moved over to LinkedIn. And it makes complete sense. The old playbooks aimed at the 5% that are in market are demand capture traps, with many players racing to the bottom on a capped supply. Meanwhile, marketing to the 95% that's not in market builds equity. You build your brand so people know who you are, they like what you're about, and trust that you can help them. They will buy from you when you move in market. Because some things haven't changed. The concept is as old as time. People influence people. And conversations between people drive commerce. Now, many executives think that LinkedIn is all about content creation and social media, but it's a powerful convergence of disciplines. It's a powerful form of public relations. You choose your network and you put your message in front of them. It's product marketing. You tell them how you're different. You tell them a compelling narrative that makes them want to buy your products. It's demand generation. You can put ad dollars behind those posts and juice the results. It's account-based marketing. It's highly targeted. It's partnerships. You can create sales and marketing partnerships. And finally, it's outbound. Once you're connected to somebody, you can send direct messages in a way similar to email. The data doesn't lie. There is mounting evidence behind this behavior shift. Dentsu B2B, a unit of the big advertising firm Dentsu, conducted some research this year that showed B2B buying is more personal than ever. More than 52% of buyers prioritize personal factors like trust, values alignment, and the fact that they've learned from a brand. In fact, the factor that a brand is an active thought leader in a category was a top 3 ranking factor, up from 20 last year. Inc. magazine also conducted some research. They found that there was a 23% increase in CEOs posting on LinkedIn in 2024, and a 31% increase of people following CEOs. And 60% of CEOs in the study cited LinkedIn has become far and away the most important social platform. I've had a front row seat to watching this shift play out. I am just fascinated by the building of personal brands on LinkedIn and how it could have so much impact on a company. With this podcast, I'll step into the realm of a LinkedIn historian, chronicling the trend. And I'd be lying if there wasn't a self-serving element to this podcast. I'll be talking to a lot of amazing people, and it's going to sharpen my LinkedIn playbook and the work that I do with my clients. It's a big bet on my own personal brand. Maybe I'll earn this hat that I'm wearing. Every guest on the show will get one. And if the podcast gets popular, I might even sell a few sponsorships. In the meantime, I'm just happy making some new friends and sharing my lessons with all of you. If anyone ever wants to get in touch with me, maybe you want to ask a question, share some feedback, recommend a guest, or just give me a virtual high five. I will always accept a connection request from a listener of the show. Until then, stay bold, authentic, and keep creating. If you enjoyed this episode, follow Brad and Spectimer on LinkedIn for hot takes and tactical executive branding advice. For the readers in the audience, subscribe to LinkedIn Famous on Substack. And if you really loved this episode, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the podcasting platform of your choice. Until next time, stay bold, authentic, and keep on creating.